All right, hi folks, welcome back to the Fight Fight channel. My name is Brian, and today we're going to be looking at some BlackPoint tactical holsters, and in particular, it's going to be the Leatherwing. My first introduction to BlackPoint Tactical was in 2011, 2012. I was working at a FFL in Beaufort, Georgia, a very well-known one. And we had an individual come in by the name of Tyler, representing BlackPoint Tactical. Tyler came into the store, introduced us to his product line, and we started carrying it from there. And turned out to be a very successful line of product. And they actually turned out to be pretty damn good. So they've actually been highly successful nationwide, if not with international orders as well. So I've seen federal agencies carrying and utilizing BlackPoint tactical gear, local law enforcement as well, to a very, very high degree. So they've actually had contracts that have been with Sig Sauer, FN, and Kimber, just to name a few. You can actually purchase their holsters through those companies. So that's certainly a testament to how well BlackPoint Tactical as a brand has done, that they're that successful in the industry. They have a signature series of holsters that they utilize with BTAC and other individuals in the industry. Their M.A.P line, which is basically just like the Leatherwing, has been in use with some law enforcement undercover units. And essentially what they do is they utilize the Leatherwing structure, only they make it into a complete belt line. So that is their Modular Accessory pouch series. Once they started out with their initial offerings, they eventually came up with the Leatherwing, which was a super comfortable Kydex holster. And the Leatherwings basically just conform to your body line. So even though the holsters are not made on a contour, they do conform to your body line exceptionally quickly. So there is no wearing period with these holsters. This is actually an old one, manufactured back in 2011, 2012 timeframe. My wife still uses this holster for her Glock 19, but she hasn't really used the double mag pouches, which you see here, which are also Leatherwing, also contour to your body line. Comfortable. Again, there's no breaking period on these, just like the holsters themselves. Fortunately, I recently ran into Harvey and some of the guys from BlackPoint while we were doing some training with precision dynamic training. So we mentioned to them that we were going to be doing some firearm reviews, and Harvey sent us out 2 holsters for test and evaluation. So you'll be seeing these when we finally get around to actually doing the reviews. The 2 reviews that we're looking at doing are going to be on the Sig Sauer P220 series. Not so much their legacy series, but certainly their life-bearing series, some of the more modern series. We'll also be doing the FN 509 series, to include the 509 Tactical. Now, we didn't specify colors or anything like that. We didn't specify any Cant on the holster. We just essentially told them, hey, we're running SIG 220, FN 509 with these weapon lights. So we wanted to see what they would send out to us. Non-preferential, no color specifications or anything to that degree. Looking at the newer ones, there have been some improvements, but the basic premise for purchasing a Kydex holster is the longevity and the comfort. So unlike a leather holster, you're not going to get the holster collapsing on you over time. It tends to weigh down over the years. Kydex doesn't do that. The fantastic thing about reholstering is it doesn't collapse. It does have some flex to it, but it doesn't collapse. So you get an easy reholster on your gun. It clicks in and it is secure. You're not going to lose your gun, even on a full frame, full steel SIG P220. The other benefit of these holsters is that you will get a full master grip on your handgun. So there's no issues there. You can actually hear it click in and that release. So like I said, retention, release for the draw and your presentation is exceptionally smooth. It's fast. It's exactly what you would want for a concealed carry holster. All right, so looking at the improvements over time from one of the legacy holsters that we have is going to be the Kydex belt loops. BlackPoint has subsequently gone to the steel belt loops for a 1.5 inch and a 1.75 inch belt. You can specify which one you want. The leather wings themselves, you can also select the color of those, whether you want a lighter or darker brown, in addition to a black finish. The rear and the front of the holster, you can select your colors. Looking at the holsters that we received, one of the very few specifications that I actually asked for was that they would do this, what we call a combat cut or a comfort cut, essentially. So that takes off about just that section, a wedge of the leather wing off. So what you will do is you will essentially lose your ride height adjustment potential for these holsters. I've never used it, don't need it, but I do prefer the combat cut or the comfort cut. When you order, just shoot them an email, tell them that you want this particular cut. And what that does is when you bend down or you bend your leg or anything like that, it takes that edge away. So it's a lot easier for your body mechanics and it doesn't dig into your hip or anything like that. So this is my preferred cut on the holsters itself, and I very highly recommend asking for this option. I would like to see the belt loops probably extended out maybe by about 1 millimeter or 2, and that's just to accommodate reinforced belts like the core belt systems, especially the 1.75. I'm not really prone to using 1.5 inch belts. I just don't like them, never have. I like the additional rigidity of the 1.75. Now, for my preference, the only difference that I would want, for me, I just like an additional 15-degree canter just a little bit forward that prevents additional printing for the magwell area. I like to carry extended magazines, +2 extension magazines if I do carry a Glock. Otherwise, I'll carry a larger handgun like a Staccato P series, PDPO, and that has a magwell, so I like to run it a little bit forward so I can conceal it a little bit better under a shirt. The only thing that I would like to see on these, outside of expanding the belt loop size marginally, is maybe an option for selectable retention, so that you can choose the degree of retention and the amount of effort it takes to draw your firearm and present it. Just as an option, it's not necessary. It's actually not even necessary on the holster, but it's just a recommendation that I would like to see as an option for those people who would want it. So I did not select these color combinations. These are what Harvey selected, which is a olive drab green Kydex front and rear and the dark brown leather wings. On this one, for the P220, he selected a all brown Kydex front and rear and the leather wings. So the one that I will be ordering, I'll probably order myself a set in all black and maybe this color combination, which I actually really fancy on these. So the coyote tan with the dark brown leather wings is quite appealing. So starting out, we're having a look at one of the original OG BlackPoint tactical leather wing holsters. A little bit more crude back then, only you can see that it's rounded off on the sweat shield. The leather wings are slightly wider, a little bit broader by the looks of things from the current iterations. And you can see that the Kydex belt loops were a little bit more crude. The holster is fully serviceable, been around for a long time. My wife's been running it with a Glock 19. Any parts, wear or anything like that, even after all this time, is basically insignificant. I mean, you've got some scratches and stuff, just minor wear, but nothing that's concerning. The retention is still excellent, so there are no issues with this particular holster whatsoever. So getting into the current production of the leather wings, you will see the quality is fantastic. It really is outstanding. It's been a little bit more standardized, so the molding's nice. You can see the newer models have a squared off sweat band or sweat guard. The other improvements are the steel belt loops, which are going to last you significantly longer than a Kydex belt loop would. Nice touch is the laser engraving. I do believe BlackPoint used to offer custom laser engraving for company logos, that sort of thing, on the outside of their holsters. I don't know if they still do that, but that is something worth inquiring about and contacting them directly about. So that's the one for the FN509. The leather wing, again for the P220, as you can see, is also consistent. Both of these are the 90-degree cant. I do prefer the FBI forward cant of 15 degrees or so. For me, that's just a little bit better in terms of concealability, getting the magwell area further into the body line, so you conceal it a little bit better. But as you can see, the holsters are fantastic. There is a reason that BlackPoint Tactical has been so successful here in the United States, and I know that their sales to overseas clients exist as well. I remember when the private military contractors were ordering their M.A.P series, getting additional custom work done for their holster line. This one for the FN509, you can see the retention on there is fantastic. You're not going to lose it. And the drawer is exceptionally clean on each of these holsters. All right, so we're going to put these aside for the time being. And we're going to get into the Leatherwing double mag pouch. Gives you a good point of reference for the quality of the gear that you would be using. So the width of the leather wings is the only thing that might be of concern if you need additional real estate on your belt line. So like I said, this is one of the originals, early productions with the more crude belt loops, but still functional nonetheless. Now, just to show you an option, what I did personally, looking at the width, is I actually took my leather wings off of a set of 45 ACP magazines when I was running a Springfield. So what I did was I removed the excess of the leather wings itself, and I moved the belt loops over onto the magazine pouch itself, while it still gives you sufficient and proper flexibility. So that'll wrap around your waist sufficiently while reducing the footprint or the width. And what I did was I took off the excess Kydex, giving it that comfort or combat cut to make it more comfortable for me. You still get enough flexibility for it to wrap around your waist nice comfortably, and just like your mom, essentially. So you know it's going to be comfortable and definitely worth looking at. So it is an option just in case you do want to modify or have your holsters modified accordingly. I'm sure you could ask BlackPoint Tactical to give you the same package as well. So looking at the continuous improvements made by BlackPoint, you'll see these are early versions of the handheld light pouches from back in the day, and they can manufacture that to the light that you are carrying. So these old ones started to get some friction areas that would crack the Kydex or start. You can see that there's friction on that and started to wear it down. This is probably one of the first ones that they ever actually did. You can see how crude it is. They just cut into it. This was just an experimental design. This is from way back 2011, 2012 timeframe, before they eventually settled in on something far more sturdy. And you can still see the old crude Kydex belt loops. As you can see, the friction lock is pretty decent. There it is. Not going to lose your flashlight. It's easy enough to draw and to initiate your light, especially off the belt line. It's going to be a little harder for me to demonstrate while I don't have a rigid base to show it to you from. However, these are exceptional if that is something that you're looking at for carrying a handheld in addition to your weapon mounted light as well. So one of the additional benefits of dealing with BlackPoint Tactical is that you can have custom holsters manufactured for any firearms that are out of production, or you've got something that has a unique laser aiming module. You can get a holster manufactured for it. The unique combinations of lights, whether you want an O light, Surefire light, or anything from Streamlight, any other quality production manufacturers, they will accommodate. I think leatherwing holsters for all of these would be fantastic. From the ZevTech, the old school SIG SP2022, Smith & Wesson 4006, the now out of production HKP 2000. The HK USP, of course, I would probably change the light out to a Surefire X300 on that. And of course the South African Vector SP1 series. I think a little bit more unique to the industry here in the United States. Yeah, so if you're in the market, I can highly recommend BlackPoint Tactical as a product line. See if it meets your needs as it does mine. They are absolutely fantastic people to deal with, family oriented, who love this country, have a passion for firearms and a passion for your rights and the Second Amendment. Give them a call, check out their website, and give them some business. Also, I want to give a mention out to Zach and Ellie Latham from Precision Dynamic Training for getting us back together with the folks from BlackPoint Tactical. So we do appreciate that. And also, if you're looking for training, whether it's handgun, rifle, or precision rifle, please feel free to give Precision Dynamic Training a look with Zach and Ellie Latham, who are the two primary instructors. It's a family-owned company, and both of them are active law enforcement in the Northeast Georgia area. So these are cool, very highly recommended. Give BlackPoint Tactical a look, check them up on their website, contact them directly, and they will get you squared away. Thanks for watching. Yeah, boy. Woo, son. Bye. Ugh. All right. Woo, son. Hi, folks. Welcome back to... Woo.